what's the next emergency that's gonna come around the corner?
Well, that's what rainy day funds are for, it's raining.
Pouring right now at this point.
It's flooding, exactly, not just raining.
But we have to reserve, and we have to keep so much back by law, don't we, Martin? I wouldn't think there's a whole lot of cushion in there, what we have to keep back.
Marvin, how many days in reserve do we have right now?
At this present time, I think on our last calculation, Paula, we're just a little bit below the 120 days that we're supposed to have on general.
Okay.
On water, we way below.
My boy.
Yeah, on water, we're way below. On general, we're running pretty close to the 120 days that we have in our investment policy.
So even if we have it, I guess if I understand you right, Marvin, we can't really spend it because we're supposed to.
Not
We're
really
supposed to
close.
keep it in reserve, so we can't really use that money. We're already at that point that we can't use it, so, something else would have to come out of this, as I see it, to do that. And believe me, I spent a lot of time going over this thing trying to find it.
I realize that.
It'd be much easier on my flesh to bring y'all the one with no increases. But there's just no way.
But we're all citizens, too, we pay it too, there's no way to get paid, right?
The situation we were in the winter, and there's no water, and there was something that we could have spent money on that would have got it for us. I mean, I understand we're in tough times, but we're not having to, it's not like we've been given into our, bank accounts or back pocket just to make something happen. For us, so stuff we did at that moment, we would have spent as much money as it took to get water to our citizens. When we hit those moments and we don't have, there's something we could have done and we don't have the dollars to do that, that's when we'll be in trouble.
Anybody else?
We're probably spending down some of our, I know that from our reserves to fix the roads, and we told people we're gonna do that, and that's getting done, there's plans to get that done, but it leaves the reserve. Because some of the other stuff that we bought, and we made that decision to buy the garbage trucks that we need, the fire trucks that we need, all the other vehicles that we bought, capital things that we bought. But we're pretty much expended that reserve now. Now we're at this point. And I would certainly entertain any input that you have that tell us where else we should cut to keep them have to do this. I'd like to know about it.
I mean, I'm not trying to sound bad, but we're to the point that, the next step is cut service. We all fight so hard for that not to happen.
Yeah.
We've already cut a library that we all get heat over and wish we could have done something else. But we were gonna lose our certification, everything else on that. And now, we've got some others that would be the next thing to go, would be to cut services. Don't wanna do that. If at all possible, we don't wanna do that. Because you'll probably never get them back.
Right.
And that's what the other night when they were talking about the water deal with Fort Worth scares me. Every time I sit in those wholesale deals with those people, they tell me, be thankful you're not on this contract with Fort Worth Water.
No, absolutely.
That's what scares you.
God, look what they're doing to us on the sewage, is like what they do on the water.
Yeah.
Every other city got about 4 cities.
And Fort Worth sewage, 17% in 1 year, to me, that's just a lot. I mean, it's just too much, but then here I am talking to you about on the water side, but there's a reason for that on the water side. We're having to adjust our scales around. We don't have any choice.
Is there any way, Marvin, we could enter into a contract with them, a long-term thing, or is it just year by year on the sewer? If we could lock in a rate for budgetary reasons, if we know that wasn't going to go up anymore.
No, it's in their contract. They have that right to do every year. And we can put somebody on, which I think Gordon was on the committee this year.
Glenn Gordon.
He's one vote though, isn't he? I mean, is that?
Yeah, but he's like all the other, see how they do that thing? Let me tell you how they do that thing. They do it by your flow. Everybody's flow is of what you have in there. River Oaks and other little cities, we don't have the flow percentage that North Richmond Hills and all them do. They constitute more than 50% to Fort Worth. So they're the ones that have the strong arm. We don't. We can say our piece, but we don't have the.
With all this money that's supposedly coming for infrastructure and stuff, is there a way of metering that, using federal money to meter that?
We have tried that too, and that's only like 80%, isn't it, Gordon?
Yes, sir. And also, we've got, what, 17 or 18 connection points, so we'd have to have 18 meters.
And the alternative was to build our own plant, but we have no room or land to build. So,
In the cost.
yeah.
People don't like living next to sewer treatment.
No.
Believe me, I know, I tried to get a permit before. They will turn out.
Yeah.
Another thing I wanted to add, Mr. Gregory's already said this, but, we took about $100,000 of capital out of our operating budget and put it into this Rescue Act just to lessen the impact in that. So that's another $100,000 that would already be in the actual operating budget. You know, the impact alone from Fort Worth and everything, I mean, that's where Mr. Gregory and I looked at it. And I will say he took the lead in that because I still wanted it in the budget.
He's ignoring it.
Yeah, it's my last kicking and screaming session.
I can tell. No, it's certainly something, we do appreciate y'all this is not something where, I've been around, you know, the police chief at one city that asked for a Corvette and a Humvee in the same year whenever they were about to lose their biggest sales tax base, so, I appreciate people, that was a long time ago.
I didn't know that was on the table, folks.
No, well, that police chief in that city didn't last the next year, so that probably didn't help, but,
He was a Harley with the sidecar.
none of y'all, you know, this isn't one, there was no pie in the sky stuff, there was no shoot for the moon and see what we can get. This is a very responsible budget that y'all brought us, and so, thank you for your work. And
Mayor, I would like to add one last thing. I'm very thankful for the enterprise scenario. That's really going to help with morale of the staff and out there, because that is a big struggle every year with fleet. As y'all know, Dan, you've been in there trying to fight for police cars and stuff. This kind of evens that out, and then we can focus on a few things. I know Paul is going to be excited. She's going to have to do all that paperwork. So, but we will have paperwork on different directors. Have to watch it in meetings with it, but that's a real big benefit to the city.
But we don't really realize that we're gonna have some income from those older vehicles
Yes, sir.
going out, but we gotta remember that's not gonna be there, that's gonna go away.
Yeah, and that's, I believe
Which
Marvin's
might help us this year, but we just need to remember, yeah.
I believe Marvin's talking to our auditor about how the best way to handle that, whether we put that inside as a restricted fund or not.
Yeah, he's all about restricted funds.
anybody else have anything?
What do you call it? I can't tell if it's called. I can't work. Well, step back and look at this